I wanted to make this video so to help people understand what I'm going through with my family. I'm still being required to help my grandmother with chores around the house. Like, I helped her with the TV the other day. It really hurt my neck. Like, she didn't pay for service accidentally, so I helped her set it up and deal with calling the automated line and all that. And of course, she didn't understand that I have a neck problem, so she kept telling me to just stand there and deal with it. And, because even though I've, told her and my mom over 100 times each that standing still in one spot, especially looking down at a cell phone, is difficult for me. It didn't register that might be difficult for me. And so, but I helped, I did what I could and laid down, and I spent an hour listening to their conversation and would get up from bed and go help when I could. And I did that, and it really hurt my neck. I was in intense pain for 24 hours at least. And then my mom comes over and just is berating me for, like a dish or two not being, perfectly clean for the dishwasher, because she still is under the illusion that, you can't ever have any debris on your dishes when they go in the dishwasher. I mean, she just learned about dishwasher filters like 3 weeks ago, and she's 65. She never heard of them. So she always thought like you had to clean your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, because obviously if you never clean the filter, then it gets, it builds up. So so she was berating me for that and just yelling at me for it and getting on me for it and just endlessly, just attacking me for it, and like I'm trying to rest, and she just would not, just going and going and going and going, and just would not stop until she got a reaction out of me. And it's just like, just completely disrespectful, constantly acting like I'm lazy, constantly acting like I'm a burden on the family, constantly acting like I'm rude. I mean, I'm staying with my grandmother who had a broken hip, and I took care of her for 10 months. And I got further injured while taking care of her because of taking care of her. And I'm shown no appreciation for this, no respect for this at all. I'm treated like I'm an asshole. I'm treated like I'm disrespectful. I'm treated like I'm a constant burden. I mean, I literally just lay in my room. That's it. I'm not out there causing trouble for anybody. I try to clean up after myself, obviously, because of my neck. I can't do as well as I prefer. Like cleaning up, around the sink and doing dishes and stuff. Like I want to, like, I mean, it doesn't matter what I want as far as like cleaning. I always was of the belief that if you live with someone, if they wanted a certain cleanliness, whatever that is, like whoever needs it the cleanest, like that's how clean you have to make it. But my mom also is a person that just moves goalposts around. So like if you clean the kitchen, then she's gonna yell at you for the dusting, and if you dust, then she's gonna yell at you for the bathroom. And if you clean the bathroom, she's gonna yell at you for your closet. And if you clean your closet, she's gonna yell at you for the dust under your bed, or your shoes are not in the correct order, or your comb that you have in the bathroom isn't of good quality or something. She's just gonna make up something. The food that you have should be rearranged differently in the refrigerator, and you're gonna get yelled at about that. It doesn't matter what you do. The goalposts move. People always tell me, they're like, "Well, if your mom understood," I'm like, it's not about understanding. It's just like she needs to tell other people they're inadequate, and she's going to find a reason for that. And there's not like a moral compass here. We're talking about like a 5-year-old's understanding of emotion. Like, you know how a 5-year-old is, where they just like, they'll just go up to you and tell you to do something. And you're like, no, that's not how that works. You don't just order people around. And you could explain it to them and like try to help them understand ethics and morality and stuff like that. Or like just being rude, telling people like shut up, or it's just like, yeah, and it's just narcissism. So that's I'm being told repeatedly that I'm worthless, and that I don't matter, and I'm being put in a position where I'm further injuring my neck repeatedly. And if I don't, then I get kicked out. I get threatened with getting kicked out, and that's the position I'm in. It's hurt your neck further or be homeless, and nobody cares. I mean, people on social media, they're just like, oh, here's a man, who cares about him? I know women get neglected too, and it's awful. But it's worse being a guy, women and children first, we don't matter as much in society. So that's also fun. And yeah, so that's what I go through on a daily basis, and it's true, you know. I mean, I have recording of my mom now calling me a liar for exercising, telling me all I need to do is exercise, acting like I'm lazy, and this happens every time I see her. And people think like, oh, if I just explain, if she just understood, and it's not a matter of understanding. Like, if she could get away with being racist, she would, because it would make her feel good. But she can't, so she doesn't. There's not like ethics and morality at play here. There is just, what can I get away with? And that's what I will do to hurt other people and feel better. I mean, we would go to, my brother when he was alive, I would go to like his meetings for rehab, and they'd explain to the parents like what's going on and how to handle things and all that. And all she would do is just stand around telling everyone how stupid they were, and so that she would feel better, and like how this was stupid and us. And she was the parent of an addict in that place, and she's telling everyone like how pathetic they are, and it's like, and it like never clicked in her brain that like she was fucking stupid and that she was the reason he was there. I mean, she gave him money to do drugs with, and she acts like, oh, I'm the victim, like how could this happen to me? Meanwhile, she's spending years encouraging his drug habit, ignoring it, providing him with money for it, but in public, she's the victim. And I just don't care anymore. It's like I just get berated all the time anyway. I get yelled at, I get treated like shit, and it's like, well, I'm gonna tell the truth then. Like, this is what's happening to me every day, and I'm dying because of it. And my mom is playing the victim every day, acting like, these circumstances are so horrible, and I'm so horrible, and it's like I'm one of the nicest people that you would ever meet. I mean, I would do more for my family than any of them have done for me. Any of them, period. You can't name a family member I have that would do more for a family than I would. Like, I mean, immediate family members, like a father might help a daughter, but like if we're talking about outside of the immediate family, like I would do more for anyone else. I mean, I would literally give my life to protect a family member. Uh, and no other family member would do that. I would spend any amount of money to save a family member's life, donate organs, whatever it took. If I could help a family member, I would. And random people that I don't even know have been more helpful to me than my family has been. Like, they literally don't care if I live or die. And somehow, like, I'm a horrible person. Like, and it's just, then my mom spins all these tales about how generous and awesome she is when we're in public, like when we're going to like get regenerative therapy. She was talking about how like, oh, like I just saw him like that in bed, and I was like, oh, I have to help him, and like all this. And I'm like, no, that's not how it went. Like, you saw me like this for months, and I begged and cried and begged and begged and begged and cried and suffered and begged, and I was dying, and I got worse and I got worse and I got worse and I got worse, and I was begging, and finally, begrudgingly, or grudgingly, you conceded that this was maybe something that should be helped. I mean, you're like, oh, like I'm gonna help you with your PICL. It's like, oh, remember when I asked you last May, it was like, yeah, I need a PICL. This is very serious. I'm never going to work again until I get that. And I'm gonna slowly degrade and get worse without it. And my life's basically over. And you just disregarded that. And you waited an entire year, and now I'm in bed for 4 months straight. You remember that? I mean, it was greatly aggravated by the injury that I had when, like, I was doing fine, I was doing fine, I was doing fine, but I was susceptible to injury, and then I got injured helping my grandmother, and and I knew that would happen. I knew that was very dangerous. I even told my mom when I came to help my grandmother, I was like, if I do this, with my neck the way it is, like, um, I'm gonna get injured again, and that's gonna happen, and it's gonna be very serious. And then she's like, just said I had to do it anyway, or I could be home. I could be homeless, and here I am. And she's still playing the victim and berating me every day for not being good enough. And it just this is not. Again, I have to reiterate because people absolutely cannot wrap their heads around this. She moves goalposts. There is no good enough. There is no, oh, if she just understood. That does not exist. I've known her for 39 years. I know her better than you. Anyone listen to this? I know her better than you. I'm not asking you what she's like. I'm telling you what she's like. She's, you know, she's that way. So she's going to continue to find a reason to hurt me, and none of this is taken into account. Like, I literally just keep getting hurt by my family. And if I don't get hurt, if I don't choose to get hurt, then I become homeless and they'll kick me out. I mean, I get threatened with getting kicked out regularly. And um, every time my mom visits, she comes in my room. I don't invite her in. She starts telling me how I'm inadequate, how I've failed, what I've screwed up, and is very rude about it. Like, she could tell me, like, hey, there were some dishes that were, not quite as clean as I'd prefer, and I'd be like, oh, okay, my bad. I'd still be kind of, like, frustrated because, look at me. What kind of a heartless dumbass is, like, complaining about dishes when their son is, like, literally fucking dying? But, at least she could say it in a nice way, but no, she's going to really stick it to me. So that's my life every day. And no one gives a shit.